On the night of September 5, Boko Haram terrorists stormed Darul Jamal, a village in Nigeria's Borno state near the Cameroon border. Riding motorcycles and firing rifles, they went house to house, killing men and setting homes on fire. By morning, more than 60 people were dead, including 7 soldiers. Families who had only recently returned from displacement camps were forced to flee once again. Survivors say the attackers targeted men, leaving women behind. Many victims were drivers and workers helping to rebuild the community.
They came and knocked on our door. When I opened it, they fired into the air, then entered the house and took away our belongings and food.
When we heard the gunshots, we rushed to open our doors, but the soldier told us to close them. That gave the terrorists the chance to take advantage of us, and they killed about 65 of our men and boys inside the house.
Almost every household lost someone. For families who had finally returned home after years in displacement camps, the attack was another cruel reminder that peace remains far away.
We need maximum security deployment, but not like the ones we have, who may retreat from the fight and leave behind the lives of the civilians in danger.
Now let's hear what the Borno state governor said.
As of now, we confirm that 63 have lost their lives. Yes, both the civilians and the army. But the civilian casualties are more. To take note that the numerical strength of the Nigerian army is not enough to contain the situation.
So the governor himself admits that the Nigerian army's strength is not enough to contain the situation. So who are Boko Haram? Boko Haram is an armed Islamist group that began in northeast Nigeria in the early 2000s. The phrase Boko Haram comes from the Hausa language, and roughly it translates to Western education is forbidden. Well, the group wants to overthrow the Nigerian government and establish an Islamic state under a strict, unadulterated form of Sharia law. Let's see how it began. The group was founded in 2002 by a preacher named Muhammad Yusuf in the city of Maiduguri. Yusuf accused Nigeria's leaders of corruption and argued that Western-style education was a trap. He built schools and gained followers, especially among poor young men with few opportunities. In 2009, Nigerian forces cracked down and killed Yusuf. After his death, his deputy Abubakar Shekau turned the ideology into a violent insurgency. Boko Haram became infamous for suicide bombings, kidnappings and mass killings. In 2014, the group kidnapped 276 schoolgirls from the town of Chibok, sparking global outrage and the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Over the years, more than 180 of the girls escaped and were freed. But the trauma did not end there. Some of the rescued girls returned home pregnant or with children after years in captivity. In 2016, Boko Haram split. One faction, still called Boko Haram under Abubakar Shekau, was known for extreme violence against civilians. The other faction, ISWAP, or Islamic State West Africa Province, aligned with ISIS and focused more on attacking military targets. Both remain active in northeastern Nigeria and surrounding countries. Now the question is, why did Boko Haram emerge? Several deep-rooted problems explain why Boko Haram gained followers. First, poverty and inequality. The northeast is one of Nigeria's poorest regions with high unemployment. Second, poor governance. Corruption and neglect left people frustrated with the state. Third, education gaps. Schools did not prepare young people for jobs, and Western education felt distant from local culture. Fourth, heavy-handed security responses. Crackdowns often harmed civilians, creating resentment. Boko Haram is not alone. Armed bandits in northwest Nigeria and militia elsewhere also thrive. The reasons are the same: poverty, lack of security, and weak state presence. Porous borders and the withdrawal of regional troops have also made it easier for groups like ISWAP to regroup and expand. Now here's a contrasting fact for you. Nigeria is rich in natural resources, especially oil and gas, and is Africa's largest economy, yet millions live in poverty. It's because of corruption, poor infrastructure, and weak public services that the wealth of the country does not reach most citizens. In the Northeast, decades of underdevelopment have fueled anger and allowed extremist groups to exploit grievances. Since 2009, Boko Haram's insurgency has killed more than 40,000 people and displaced over 2 million. Villages are destroyed, farmers abandon their land, and many children grow up without schooling. Even when families return to their homes, as in Darul Jamal, safety is never guaranteed. To sum up, the crisis is linked to bigger problems in Nigeria, such as poverty, lack of development, and weak security. The attack on Darul Jamal in September of 2025 shows that the conflict in northeast Nigeria is far from over, and many communities still live under the shadow of violence. Before we wrap up, let's end on a merry-go-round note. Hot air balloons fill the skies over Hradec Králové in the Czech Republic. More than 80 balloons floated above the scenic fields and forests surrounding this 800-year-old city, marking the largest balloon gathering in Czech history. Thanks for watching. We leave you with these lovely visuals.